everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Normally I do reactions content here on this channel, and if you're new here, welcome in. My name is Cora. It is so good to have you here. I am also a Twitch streamer and I create gaming content here on YouTube. If you want to check my gaming content out, you can click the link up here, and if you want to come and hang out live or check any of my other social media out, the link to that is down in the description box. And if you're not new, welcome back. So this is more gonna be a type of like a review, me like talking about my thoughts and feeling of the episode and us going back and watching it. And you might be wondering, okay, you just said you were reacting to content normally, why the heck are you doing this? Here's why. I messed up. Okay, I messed up. I'm a human being. If you do not know me very well, I am a person who works a normal office job. I work a 9 to 5 and I create content somewhere every day of the week. I have 4 YouTube videos a week, 2 on this channel, 2 on the other channel, and I also stream 3 times a week. In the meantime of trying to do all of this, I also try to be human. You know, I have friends, I have family, I have a partner, I have an apartment that needs cleaning, I need to grocery shop, I need to eat food, I need to sleep, I need to shower, and to get all of that done, I am very great at planning, which is kind of how I do it. But I messed up. I had a very long week. I was trying to get the recording done just when I came home from the office and before I was streaming that evening. So I basically messed up. I overwrote the file, so there's only like half a recording. There's only the recording of the actual video and my commentary is gone. Now I could put on my, I could use my great acting skills and do my best to see if I could react to it, but honestly, that wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be my genuine reaction, and it's not what all of you want to see. So I think the best way to do it was to ask you what you wanted. So I suggested a few things, and it seemed like a lot of you were okay with like me doing some sort of review and just talking about my feelings of the episode. So that is exactly what we're gonna do here today. I am very sorry for my extreme clumsiness. I'm so sorry I didn't double check this time that I was recording it right, so that I overwrote my own file, and I'm also very sorry that this video is late. Please forgive me. I am human, and thank you for still being here. Before we get into it though, I just quickly want to say a huge thank you to all of you. We recently reached YouTube partner, which is absolutely amazing. It comes with a few perks and it gives me the ability to, get a little bit of money out of this, which helps for me to, hopefully in the future be able to do this even more consistently and for me to potentially create more content for all of you. And it's also just a huge achievement to feel like you get recognitions from the work that you put out there. So I want to tell you all thank you so much for helping me hit YouTube partner. It is absolutely amazing, and I'm sorry that I messed up my first Final Fantasy video after reaching Twitch partner, not Twitch partner, freaking heck, after reaching YouTube partner. But I'm gonna try to get into this, so without further ado, let's get into our little review, discussion, rewatching style video. I usually start with a wrap up of the last episode, so I thought that we would do that this time as well. So the episode we're gonna discuss today is from Supernatural Season 2, Episode 3. So the episode before that one was one that was involving clowns. Now, it was a great episode. I feel like it was an episode that I needed because before that episode, there was a lot of emotions. The end of Season 1, the beginning of Season 2 had me crying. So I needed a little bit more lighthearted, not as deep episode, and I feel like that episode really did that for me. I know a lot of people are scared of clowns. I am one of the few. I mean, I'm scared of literally everything, but clowns, they're not on the top of my list, so to say. So, lucky me, but it was a good episode. It was lighthearted. I feel like it was cool to see them let out their emotions and whatnot, and finally like tiny baby steps on opening up to each other that maybe they're not okay after their dad. This episode, however, was, I would say that this episode it was also sort of a more light-hearted version. In the beginning of this episode, we see a woman running and someone running after her, and I think I said something in the lines of like, this just feels like a typical horror movie, with her like being changed in the fall and then her head got chopped off, and I was like, okay, maybe that part doesn't feel like a normal horror movie the way they happened. And then when we find out that, you know, this wasn't just an ordinary woman that was being killed, it was actually a vampire. I was like, oh, okay, so we're dealing with someone or something killing off like vampires. That's pretty cool. Like, that's actually pretty cool to me. And then I got really hyped because I was like, oh wait, so this is not gonna be like our normal episode, them hunting like random monsters and killing them. This is gonna be something else. And boy, was I right about that. I really was, wasn't I? I also still get really disgusted from like the teeth, like when their fangs grow out and they're like several fangs, and like the way they, vampires are cool, but they're really freaking freaky in this episode, okay? I thought we could watch it maybe like this, and that's when I realized, hang on a minute, this season, it has the real, right? It has the real soundtrack, so that's why it's so good, and I got really excited about it, and I was like, this is such a good song, and I thought the scene was really cool as well, and the conversation they're about to have, I love it.
Good mood? Why shouldn't I be?
Like no this reason. Part, I really like this, like, you're in a good mood.
You hear a couple of severed heads and a pile of dead cows and you're Mr. Sunshine.
I thought personally that, sorry, this is a little confusing how I do it. I'm trying to figure out a way to do this so we can like watch and I can like edit this in a way that makes sense. But I really love this, not me like removing everything and like dropping everything from my desk. I really like this scene. It's lighthearted, they're back in their car. Dean somehow managed to fix that car after, well, first off it being hit by a truck and then him trashing his own car. I don't know how he did it, but I love that they're back into it. They're listening to some good music, they're in a good mood, and they're just like having their usual like jokes in between the two of them, which I think is just so cute, and I love that about them. I love how Sam was also like, okay, I'll leave you in your car, like you get a room, because the way that Dean treats his car is really like a lover, and I freaking really like that part of it. So that scene was absolutely amazing in my opinion. Then we move on and they're meeting up with the like chief police person, I think, and it's kind of funny because they are dressed up and acting as some sort of reporters, but they're not doing a great job at it. Like first, sure, they're like their fits kind of matches what you would think of like a small newspaper, but then they're not like agreeing with each other, and the police is like, you better get out of here, like what the heck are you doing? And they start questioning him, like, do you think there is a connection between like the murders and the cows? What's going on? Is it like a satanic ritual? And he's like, what the heck is this kind of bullshit? And I think that scene is really fun, and I was like, that's so cool. They're back into like being imposters of certain jobs, and then they go straight into the morgue. And I need to say, because I was like, oh my god, now they're pretending to be some sort of doctors, this is kind of fun, it's so lighthearted, blah blah blah. And then I realized, like, it doesn't hit me at first that they're in a morgue, and I was like, I feel like saying that this is lighthearted when they're in a morgue, it's not, you don't say that. And I didn't realize, and that was a little bit funny, and you all would probably have thought that was a really funny moment, so I just kind of wanted to share that with you, even though it was a little bit embarrassing for myself. They managed to check out the head that was severed from the woman that we saw in the beginning, and that's when they realized that they were vampires. And they're like, okay, but this is strange, like who is out here killing vampires? And that's when they go to a bar and they meet Gordon. Now Gordon Gordon is, I had some bad vibes of him from the start. You see him like sitting in the corner, he's drinking his beer, it's being very strange, but they end up talking to him, and Dean and Gordon kind of hit it off. They have some parts that are like a little bit similar with their personalities and the way that they view the world. Gordon is a way more extreme version of Dean, but they still hit it off, and Sam immediately, like, his alarms goes off. He's like pulling up the red flags. He's like, something's off with this dude. I don't know why, and I don't know what. Okay, so they talk. Sam gets an like icky feeling, and it turns out that Gordon knows who they are, that they are the Winchester brothers, and he's like, big fan of your works, there's vampires in the area, but I'm more of a loner kind of guy, I'm gonna do this gig myself. So he goes ahead and he does actually do the job by himself, but Sam and Dean is like, okay, we need to check this out anyway. So they completely ignores the fact that he says that he wants to do it alone, and they save him from a vampire in a very grotesque kind of way. I think they're at some sort of wood chopping plant, and it ends up being Dean like chopping the head, like first staking the vampire, then chopping his head off with like a wood chopping machine. It was a lot. It was also really weird because in the moment when they're like saving Gordon, because Gordon is about to have his head chopped up by this vampire, they're like dragging him out from it, but it's not like a quick like pulling him out. He's like slowly getting out of there, and I think that looks really funny. Let me just show you that little clip, okay? But like, do you see that? I feel like that might just be me, but it looked so slow to me. It looked really slow. He was just like, I don't know. I think I expected them to save him, but I think I expected them to save him more efficiently, if that makes sense. So after this, they go back to the same bar, they have a little celebration, you know, they got a vampire, they're in a mood for a celebration, and Sam is like, I don't feel like celebrating this, like something feels off, and the way that Gordon speaks, I think that's what giving Sam like the huge red flags, and Sam's like, Dean, hello, red flags, I'm waving them, do you not see them? Something's off with this dude. But Dean is like, nah, what do you mean? We're just celebrating a job well done. So Sam's decide to be the party pooper and go back to the motel when Dean and Gordon kind of stays on at the bar. And that's when it starts getting tricky, okay? Because this Gordon, he knows how to manipulate people, and when you are in outside seeing it, it's very clear. But I definitely see how Dean fell into this trap, because Gordon talks about his sister being killed by vampires, and that's like how he got into this, and he's like, I know, like there's a hole in your heart and it can never be filled, and Dean's like, that is exactly how I feel about my dad, you know, he's recently passed, and Gordon's like, yeah, I'm really sorry to hear about that, like I totally understand how you feel. And it's so sad, like in that moment, that was really emotional to watch, because I know, and Dean even says it himself, he puts on a brave face for Sam, and we all know that because he just wants the best for Sam, he wants to protect him, and he doesn't want to show Sam that he is still struggling with this, even though Sam clearly knows this, but he doesn't want Sam to see that side of him. And he wants to make sure that he is there for Sam, when actually what they need to do is be there for each other. So he hasn't really been able to talk to anyone about this, and in a sense, I'm still happy that he got to talk to Gordon about this, because I think that he needed to say out loud that, you know, I am not okay. I am not dealing with this, and I'm not okay. Like, I'm really not doing well after our dad passing away. And it's nice to see him finding someone he can open up about this to, but Gordon is not the person, because he uses this against him, and he's like, dude, we are killers, you know, what I love about our job is that it's black and white, and we know that anything that's supernatural is evil, and like we go after it, and anything supernatural shouldn't exist, and that's so great about our job, and that's where we're the same. And like Dean is already emotionally roped into this conversation, so he's like, yes, exactly. And they start plotting on like how to find the rest of the vampires together. While Sam goes back to the motel, there's definitely a lot of like odd stuff going around, and it turns out that there are vampires stalking him, and they kidnap him. It's also a funny thing that I think I noted that was like, you know, we're gonna prove to you that we're good vampires by giving you back, like just like leaving you back home in the motel without leaving a scratch. And I thought that it was a little bit funny because the way that they got Sam was with like taking up a telephone and hitting him in the head. And I was like, but he already has a scratch. Obviously that was me overanalyzing it and such, but I just had to say that because that was such a typical thing of me to say, and I know that all of you would have been like, yeah, but like they didn't do anything more. So but he does end up having a conversation with a female vampire and a dude. And I have to say that I am so excited to see an episode like this, because up until this point, it's pretty much been black and white when it comes to supernatural versus like the hunters. And in this case, it really isn't. This woman, female vampire, she's like, please trust me. I am so sorry we're doing this to you, but like we need to prove to you that we are trying to survive and we are trying to do it in a way where we do not have to hurt humans. And Sam is definitely a bit like, what do you mean? Like the only way for you to survive is to kill and like drink blood of humans. She's like, no, we actually can drink cattle blood, like blood from the cows. It's disgusting and we hate it, but it's easier for us to survive that day, like that way there's no like dead bodies and whatnot. And like she genuinely didn't seem like she wanted to hurt anyone. The dude was a little bit more like, oh, but now he's seen us, they're all the same, the hunters, they all just want to kill us. The Sam is like, you know what, hang on a minute, I'm not like that, because Sam is not. He has a conscience, he's got a lot of emotions, and he's like, no, I'm not like that, which I thought was really cute. So they actually do give him back, and then Dean and Gordon comes back, and Sam is like, Dean, I need to talk to you in private. So they leaves the motel whilst Gordon is still in their motel, and I got so frustrated because they're standing just outside a motel door talking to each other, and I was like, sirs, please, you want to have a private conversation for a reason. Why are you talking just outside the motel door? Gordon can clearly hear you, and not only could he hear them, he actually went outside and listened into their conversation, because that is what this dude does. It ends up with the brothers fighting each other, which I absolutely hate, and Dean actually ends up hitting Sam. He gives him a full blow to the face, and that shocked me. I was in disbelief. Like, I know they can get into heated arguments. I know they have some huge differences, but I didn't expect him to do that. So that took me by surprise, and I was like, Dean, what did you just do? But I think in the end, Sam's like, you know, we need to properly think about this, because like I saw that she was genuine, and I don't think that we should kill something that doesn't actually cause any harm. We are here to hunt evil. We're not here to hunt supernatural things per se. And it was a cool conversation, but they get back in, and I think the Dean is gonna be like, okay, we'll see, like we'll check it out, but like I still don't believe you. And they realize that Gordon took their car keys, not the car, but just the keys, which I think says a lot about Gordon. So Dean has to, after fixing up his entire car, he has to jumpstart it. And you can see the pain on his face, like, I just fixed this, my beautiful car, and here I am taking it apart to jumpstart it. It was a little bit funny, but I also felt a little bit sad for Dean, I'm not gonna lie. They end up going out to their nest, and Gordon is already there. He is torturing this woman. He's using dead man's blood, and it's brutal. Like, he really doesn't have any, like, he really doesn't care. And Dean is like still a little bit on the edge. He's still sort of leaning a little bit more into like Gordon's story and the emotions against the vampires than Sam's, but they manage to realize, or well, the whole conversation ends up with Dean being like, wait, hang on a minute, hang on, what's happening? And Gordon actually confesses that, you know what, my sister didn't just die, she was turned. And I was like, oh my god, so she was turned into a vampire and now he's seen all the evil that she has done. But no, actually Gordon, once his sister was turned, killed his own sister, and Dean is like, you did what? Because obviously if Sam was ever turned, Dean would do anything to still protect him. The last resort for him would be to kill Sam. It's like when Sam was pointing the gun at the dad when he was possessed by the demon, the dad screaming like, please just shoot me, like we can kill this demon. But Dean is like, no, if you shoot him, you shoot dad too. Sam, you can't do it. He wouldn't allow it. He was like, no, it is more important that we try to keep dad alive than getting this demon. And that is the kind of person that Dean really is. That is the person that he doesn't always show off in like the way he talks out loud, but it is the person that he clearly is. So him hearing this, I think that was really disturbing to him, because he would have never just killed Sam off. Like, I think he might have, like, I don't know, locked him up in a cellar or something, but not just brutally murdered his own baby brother, even if he was a vampire. And Gordon actually goes as far as to threaten Sam in order to like prove his point. So he like cuts Sam and like tries to get this vampire to drink Sam's blood, and she you know, obviously having that dangling in front of her face, her fangs comes out, but she actually managed to calm herself down. And let me just say, that is some sort of self-control there, okay? You can put a like bowl of crisps in front of me and if you tell me not to eat, then I don't even know if I could like stop myself from not eating them. So kudos to her, because she did amazing, and for her that is like way worse than a bowl of crisps. So really cool scene. I kind of want to watch it just to like show her self-control. I'm only showing you snippets of this because it's hard to like pick out moments when it's not like me reacting to them, but I thought that was a really cool moment, so let me just show you that. It's also a very pretty intense scene, and I feel so bad. Like, this is like she's not only tortured, but like and then we have the teeth. I don't like the teeth. We do think she's so different. He's like, do you really think she's so different? Actually, yes. And Dean is really like, I don't know, but like, he's waiting it out. He's like, she still hasn't done anything. And see, this is what I'm talking about. She retracts her teeth. And she's like, no, I am different. And you can see,
You hear her, Gordon?
you can see on Dean's face that he has come to the conclusion, the realization that this is actually real. I think that's pretty cool, okay? I think that's pretty cool. Also, I don't know, we don't usually get any sunlight into the apartment, and my camera is not handling it very well, so please excuse the bad camera quality that's going on right now. I don't know how to fix this. And it's already been a while into the recording, so just pretend it's making me look angelic or something, like, ha. Anyway, scratch that. Forget I said that. Anyways, I thought that moment was really cool, and something that I absolutely loved about this episode was not just like Dean and Sam struggle with understanding each other and such. It was the fact that the world is never black and white. It doesn't matter if it's about supernatural things or humans, and it also shows, or it like very, very efficiently displays how trashy human beings are. Because we suck sometimes, and Gordon sets a perfect example of that. He's like, it's black and white, this is how it is. Even when he's trying to prove his point, he's actually managing to do the opposite. He proves Sam's and this vampire's point that no, it is not black and white. They don't deserve it, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. In the end, they managed to, you know, fight Gordon. They're having a little fist fight. They're like punching each other, and like they have like, Gordon brings a knife to a gunfight, and Dean is standing there with a gun. But then Dean, the kind person he is, decides to trust Gordon for a second, and that's when like the full fight erupts, because he takes out the bullets out of it, so it's like not loaded anymore. But he managed to still like overthrow Gordon, and he ties him to the chair, and they leave them there whilst they go and save the vampires that they could. They managed to move them to a safer location, and I think that it's just really beautiful. In the end, we have Sam and Dean coming back to see Gordon when he's sitting there tied at this chair, and he looks so pissed. He looks so pissed, which, you know, I can kind of understand, but also you deserve it, my man. You deserve it. So they stay there, talk to him a little bit, and Sam is like, oh, you know, are you ready to like wrap up? And Dean proceeds to do this. Let me show you this, okay? Because I think it's a great moment too.
Not yet.
Sam's like, are you ready to go? And Dean is like, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
I guess this is goodbye. Wow, it's been real.
It has been real. And Sam's reaction to this, he's just like, I mean, he deserved it, but also like, did you have to? And I thought that was a little bit funny because it just shows how angry Dean was with him. It's like, not only am I gonna leave you here for 3 days, tied to a chair, only to let someone come after those 3 days to untie you. No, I'm also gonna freaking punch you so that you can just lay there tied to your chair on the floor, because this is how pissed I am with you. You manipulated me, you lied to me, and you threatened my brother, and that is lines that you do not cross with Dean Winchester. And I thought that moment was glorious. But it doesn't end there. There's another funny moment that I feel like we should watch together.
Clock me one.
Here we go. He's like,
What? Come on.
I'm pumped up, I'm ready, just hit me.
No.
And Sam, the person he is, he's like, no, Dean, I'm not gonna hit you. Why are you even suggesting that I should hit you? And he's like, you get a freebie, just do it. I'm like, I'm pumped up, I'm ready. And Sam's like, Dean, what the actual heck? He's like laughing him off, like, dude, I'm not gonna do that. But then he ends up being like, you know what? I'll rain check that. Look at this.
You look like you just went 12 rounds with a block of cement, Dean.
He really does. He is already fully, like, you can see his face. He's already like so freaking hurt. Why would he even need that, huh? So Sam's like, Dean, you're already like this. I don't even feel like I am angry at you because it all ended well. I don't want to do this to you, which I think displays also the way Sam is. But he's also like, I'll rain check that because you never know. We are brothers. We're traveling the country together. You never know when you're gonna be so pissed at him that you're like, you know what, I have a freebie, let me just hit you right now. And I feel like that moment might still come in the future, and even though I don't like them hitting each other, I just kind of want to see the moment when he's like, you know what, I have a freebie to hit you. You are so annoying to me right now that I want to do it. I kind of want to see that moment. I know that sounds kind of bad. But still, I think it's a kind of funny moment, and I think that this episode was just amazing. I don't know what you thought of the episode. Please feel free to let me know what was your favorite moments of it, and I'm once again so sorry for not being able to fully react to it. I'm a little clumsy, okay? I made a mistake, and I hope that this makes up for it. Me like retelling it, talking about it, how I reacted when I saw it, and kind of the thoughts that were going through my head. I love this episode. I really did. It showed a whole new, like, it went into a new depth of the series that's not just their emotions and the thoughts that they are struggling with as brothers, but it really showed us that, like, struggles of the world of not being, like, the world not being black and white. And I think that it was really cool that they chose to have an episode like this, showing that not all hunters are great, and that sometimes you need to sort of rethink it. It was also a moment at the end where you can see Dean like reconsidering his whole life, which I get, and I don't want him to feel that way, but I also feel like it really proves what kind of person he is. It displays that Dean is a good person because he was like, what if I have killed something without blinking twice before, not knowing that they're actually not evil. Sam is like, don't think about that, like this is the way we were brought up. But the fact that makes Dean think, once again, just proves how amazing the two brothers are, okay? Sam making Dean realize this, and then Dean himself fully realizing it as well, was absolutely beautiful. I wonder how that is gonna affect the rest of the series and the way that they go about things, but I just thought it was very cool. It was very interesting. And I loved the episode so much. I really did. I'm very sad that I couldn't share my genuine reactions to it, but I feel like I covered most of my thoughts and feelings about it, at least, while sort of retelling it. It had some funny, comedical moments, and then it had some really emotional ones, especially in the beginning when Dean is talking along with Gordon, because that just further proves that Dean is not dealing with it, and he doesn't have anyone he wants to turn to, because he doesn't want to do that to Sam, and Sam is the closest person to him. And I thought that was very, very cute and beautiful as well. I feel like there might still be thoughts that I I just remembered one. Okay, so one other thing that I was thinking about, and this might be irrelevant, but when they found the cult, that was from a vampire hunter, right? Like that hunter specifically seemed to focus on vampires. And the whole conversation was that like vampires have been like basically extinct for a long time, and here we just have a bunch of vampires, and I thought that was interesting. I'm wondering if it's because they evolved and that they're not eating humans, so they're not really leaving traces, like any sort of leaving any proof behind. I'm considering that it might just be that, and that's why they were going by unnoticed for so long, and that maybe there's more to vampires that we don't know. But we've had quite a few incidents with vampires considering they're extinct, and I was like, hang on a minute, this doesn't make sense. But I thought it was still cool, and I still enjoyed it, and it was just something that also went through my head when I was watching this. I was like, weren't they supposed to be almost extinct? But maybe this is why they weren't really noticed until Gordon, the vampire obsessed hunter that killed his own sister, was like, I'm gonna find every dang one of them, and I'm gonna make sure that they don't live their lives anymore. Yeah, this is the first time I ever tried to do something like this. It might not have been exactly how I envisioned it, probably not as you envisioned it either, but I did my best. I hope that my ramblings were fun to listen to, and that it sort of gave you an idea of how I felt in the moment, even though I wasn't able to recreate it or reenact it. So, you know, it was a great episode. I needed at least one more before I get hit with the most, I know it's gonna get more emotional, and I just feel like I need a few breathers in between to calm myself down and gather myself. So I'm very excited. I'm very, very, very eager to continue watching the series. I'm wondering what the next one is gonna be. I'm kind of hoping it's gonna be a slightly more light-hearted one as well, because I feel like I'm not ready to get into too much emotional distress yet. That first episode and the last two in season 1, they still have me in a chokehold, and I don't know if I'm ready to go on to the next one. But thank you so much for watching. Once again, thank you so much for being understanding and patient. Thank you for helping me reach YouTube partner, and thank you so much for being here. If you liked it, it would mean a lot if you wanted to give the video a like. Of course, comment your thoughts down below, and make sure to subscribe for upcoming videos. I hope that you'll have an amazing rest of your day, night, morning, midnight snack, breakfast, whichever time it is for you when you are watching this, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!